Hello, my name's Isaiah,
My name is Jared.
and we have also another partner named Greg, and we did our topic on college student studies and well-being. So the first start part we started on was empathy. So I was able to interview with my sister Mia Darden. She's a student athlete from the University of Tulsa. So throughout this interview, we were talking about the studies and well-being throughout this epidemic that we've been going through. And throughout the interview, she noticed I was able to note some positive things she said the university had done for her studies, where she enjoyed the minimization of work with the teachers lowering the work that they have done to be able to accommodate for the students to be able to get their work done. And she liked the process of being able to take exams at any time of that day. For example, she was able to take a Spanish exam at like 10 p.m. when she felt like taking it and not having to rush to do it at a certain specific time that she wanted to. But some noticeable disagreements that she did not feel like she was meeting up to for her to succeed in studying was the lack of equipment to contribute to online work. She didn't have the proper PC to be able to show up all the time to work. She didn't feel motivated to do work or show up to online classes. The process of schoolwork was being rushed for her, and she was feeling overwhelmed. And she just mainly had a lack of focus for school efforts, not being when she's not feeling like she's in the classroom. The next, for the well-being part, well, she was always felt secure and safe throughout when she was living on campus. She enjoyed the meals that was provided for on-campus students, but she once again, for training wise, she had a lack of equipment to keep training for athletics, to keep her healthy, to keep her in shape for her sports when they come back, and the lack of money when supplies were running low, like she was running out of toilet paper and all that stuff. So Mia's empathy map was for her say she wants to borrow supplies from school, needs money for supplies, is constantly rushed to finish multiple projects at once. Her due is does not show up to class meetings, not getting the same workout without the equipment she's used to using, and is not motivated to do her school work. Her think is a simple fix. She wants a simple fix to help her, more benefits to help her succeed, and for her field, she's feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, and rushed. And so we're going to move it on to the define stage with Jarrett.
Okay, so for the next stage, define. We first thing we want to do is identify or define the problems. So like students living on campus, they're becoming low on money, supplies. Not everybody has the up to date technology that they're gonna need for online classes, which which causes restrictions in student studies. And then student athletes, they don't have proper training equipment or coaching or whatever other resources they need to stay prepared for their season. And then lastly, students are not motivated or they're feeling rushed. It causes students to their grades to drop or just overwhelmness. And then the point of view statement that we're going to get from this is students of all types need help and resources from the university because not all students have funding or essentials for students to be able to succeed. And Isaiah can take over ideate now.
So for the ideation, so questions for us to before we start brainstorming was how do we define the different types of students who need different benefits? How are we able to keep the benefits at a low price and a reasonable cost for the university to handle? And how can we find a way for students and teachers to still go through their lessons without rushing the students? So throughout our brainstorming, we came up with a few brainstorms. Like we brain about creating a survey for students to fill out their plan and needs, because like that's kind of what we do with class surveys. So I was thinking that we can make a survey to see what students are doing. School doing checkups on students once every other week would be a good idea to see, make sure students are being well, doing well, and getting their schoolwork done. It's extending the school year by a week or two to give students more time. And I feel like that was a good brainstorm because since students are feeling rushed, maybe extend everything by a week or two would give students more time to get their studies, to do their work, to if they're feeling rushed. Give students a week with no school to either move out or figure out their plan to buy supplies. So throughout the when the epidemic was first happening, we were first moving online. I think would have been a good idea to at least close school for like a week, so students can either figure out what they kind of want to do and how to get set up for the future of what they're about to be doing, and students being able to rent out computers who have to go home who don't have the high technology, and we had even more brainstorming. So here's the prototype by Jarrett.
All right, so for the prototype we had come up with, it was pretty simple. Step one was take a week break from school, kind of like a regroup, organize let's build a plan with this. Maybe send out a mandatory survey so the school can get an idea of where every student is. And then the next step is we want to take those surveys and then split the students up into 4 major categories: student athletes, students on campus, students off campus, and then the ones who just didn't complete the survey. So then student athletes, they'll have the benefits of renting university training equipment. If they're on campus, given $30 or some undefined, I guess, or defined amount every other week to help them prepare or help them get their essential needs. If off campus, they would be able to rent technology to take home to do their classes and whatnot. And then they should have check-ins every once in a while, probably be something like every other week or whatever we would feel best. And then students on campus would also probably need that benefit of like some defined amount of money every other week. They would need access to buildings they have schoolwork in and check-ins every once in a while to see how they're doing. So check-ins kind of means like mental check, health check, schoolwork check, just go through everything that could be overwhelming them or anything, or making sure they're healthy or whatever. And then the students off campus, they'll also be able to rent technology or stuff to take home, so they have the need to complete courses and whatnot. And then check-ins, the same for the athletes and students on campus, but just check-ins every once in a while, mental check, health check, schoolwork check, all that stuff. And then the ones who didn't do the survey, since they're kind of like MIA, so there's not much that we could do to help them without them reaching out to us or the school. Yeah. So the prototype, after the halfway point of online classes, teachers and staff will discuss how the students are progressing through. If the majority of students are struggling, teachers will set all projects a week back or whatever. They'll do something to deadlines and schoolwork to just help catch students back up and get them to where they need to be. And then so when the school year is over, obviously it'd be expected that the supplies the students rented or needed would make it back to campus. And so that is our prototype. Isaiah can finish up with test and feedback.
So for the test and feedback, so for testing, we weren't able to actually implement this to any real university, but we discussed this with other students on campus and who kind of fit the categories. So we were able to get a lot of positive feedbacks from ideas, saying that this would be a great idea if the university did this, and this would help them a lot to succeed academic wise and help them with this with their well-being as well. Some suggestions that they came up was one suggested that they're kind of that the money might be a problem because of depending on the number of students staying on campus, but everything else seemed to have been pretty good. And that concludes our project. So if you have any questions, just let us know. And thank you for listening to our project. So this is Isaiah Darden once again.
And Jared Hallahan. And thank you very much.
See you guys.